Hi there, I'm Dan Dawkins for GamesRadar. Flipping heck, that was a little bit something else, wasn't it? I'm here with Matthew Pellett from OPM. I wonder if he's pleased today.
A little bit.
And the editor of GamesMaster, Joel Gregory. I mean, wowzer, that was one hell of a show. Like, I mean, I'll start with the negative. We saw Uncharted twice. There was a little bit too much. In fact, no, the worst thing was they announced PlayStation is now the new home of Call of Duty. That felt like a negative. That's insane. And I need the loo. Apart from that, unbelievable. Matt, can you even begin to decipher what we've just seen?
Not really. I mean, it started off with The Last Guardian, which, you know, at the start of our shows, you know, a couple of days ago, I was saying that was the game I most wanted, and I was kind of hopeful it was going to be there. I didn't know for sure. It's like, oh, brilliant, they've done it. And then it's like, oh, they're doing Horizon as well next, but they're the two big things they're announcing today, right? It's like, well, what comes next? Well, Hitman came next, but then after that, I've kind of lost track.
I forgot Hitman.
But at some point, Final Fantasy VII was just casually thrown in the middle. It's like, oh, by the way, we're remaking that. And then Shenmue 3. Just, oh yeah, there's a Kickstarter for Shenmue 3 if you're interested. I mean, it is a Kickstarter, we should emphasise that. It's not definitely going to happen, because no Kickstarter is definitely going to happen until it actually gets made. But I cannot foresee any number that he puts on that game that won't be hit by the fans wanting to back it. Shenmue 3 is surely going to happen.
Just insane. Joel, can you even attempt to pick out a highlight? And did you see any of that coming?
I saw The Last Guardian coming, but the rest of it, I'm kind of lost for words, which is not a good thing for a situation like this. But like, I genuinely think that kind of half hour, 40 minutes where we saw The Last Guardian as an actual game with, you know, we saw 5 minutes of gameplay, Final Fantasy VII's being remade, and Shenmue 3's a thing, might be the most momentous 30 minutes in like modern gaming history. Like there's, like we were just saying, there's very little left that people want in games at all. I'd totally forgotten about the Gorilla thing until you just mentioned it. Totally gone in the rest of that.
Yeah,
oh, and there's Hitman. Like I can't really process it at all. I can't get over Final Fantasy for me. That's the biggest thing. Like it's one of the games for me. Like, you know, Final Fantasy Remake's almost a joke, as is Shenmue 3. It's become a running joke that these things are going to happen. Not only are they happening, they're all happening at once, and Sony's just showing them all off.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing it's bad news for the people who do like the memes about like, hey, it's like waiting for Shenmue 3. We're not waiting anymore. I mean, and look, that's going to atomize Kickstarter, you know? Surely, like, I don't know what the previous record is, but I'm terrified to track it.
Yeah, it's going to break it.
For me, like, I mean, Matt, you're obviously delighted. Sony, did you ever think in your wildest dreams Sony would deliver like this one out in front?
I was kind of waiting for Half-Life 3 at the end there. I was like, well, they've done everything else. I mean, it's ridiculous. I was, you know, I absolutely wasn't concerned coming into E3, but I did wonder how much they would have. I was thinking there'd be less than people were hoping for. Yeah. And it's just like the wildest dreams. Like, Dreams was shown off, right? This medium molecule game that no one can quite comprehend how it works. I kind of felt like the rest of the show was just that continuing. It was just everyone's crazy dreams in the room that the screen was leaping between. It's like, oh yeah, back to reality. We've just got Uncharted. It was insane. And Uncharted looked great. Like, the demo for Uncharted, the December PlayStation experience wasn't the best. And just, they've absolutely knocked it out of the park here today.
Yeah, I thought when we saw Tomb Raider earlier on at Xbox, I thought that was actually really impressive, and they were doing Uncharted better than Uncharted. Little did we know Uncharted was going to a whole new place. I mean, that car scene, I mean, Joel, what do you think of that? That was pretty insane, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing, it looked more open than we've ever seen Uncharted look before. You know, Uncharted is an incredible series, but it's linear at its heart, right? And I'm sure it still will be. But there did look like a multitude of options as to how to, you know, it got down that hill, and number of parts and different approaches and stuff. And yeah, it probably wasn't the strongest way to end the show given what else we saw, but even if you just took that as an isolated gameplay demo, it was like incredible. Like, after Microsoft, we kind of thought it's there for the taking for Sony, and I think if they'd pulled one of those big three things out of the bag, they'd have won the show with all that other stuff. But just like I said, to have three of the biggest kind of announcements that gamers have wanted for the best part of a decade, yeah, it's remarkable. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, no, I'm like we all said to each other, we're all flabbergasted, and I feel like in various guises I've been covering E3 for a decade, and wow, like I just can't think of a time I've come away that blown away. You know, maybe I've seen a louder moment for Jack Tretton with the pre-owned, but for something so consistently out of the park. Anyway, there's sufficient dramatic tension to join us later in the possibly answering itself show, Who Won E3, which is at 9 p.m. PDT. Don't worry, we'll be trying to rank the moments we've seen, so it won't be quite as self-evident as perhaps it first appears. But yeah, look forward to seeing you soon. Incredible show from Sony.